and Troll the Noob, who are all ALS vets.
Yeah, I mean, if you've watched any of the streams, you probably know them. You probably know they're pretty great plays. Oh, okay, good. Pantheon ban.
Pantheon, who's been seeing a lot of player support. Annoying.
Yeah, please, Riot, delete that champion. It's very Wait, I don't know. But yeah, he's extremely strong in the support role. You know, that point and click stun, always very nice. The execute on the spear. So yeah, extremely strong, especially if you get, like, with Press the Attack or Conqueror, both very nice runes that he can take. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all to see him taken away, because even though he is a very strong champion, I don't feel like he's something that you want to B1, so the blue side ban isn't completely odd.
So we do see the Kindred ban coming out next. There's a Nocturne. They're really targeting the junglers here in the next set of bans here. So let's see what rounds out the last picks here before we get started on the picks.
All right. Well, anyway, Kindred ban. Urgot ban. That's
Urgot.
That is not a champion I see very often, but definitely a strong champion. You know, the execute, always very nice to have with that ultimate.
If he's able to get that ultimate off and get the execute, it turns into an AoE fear, which is very powerful in team fights.
Yeah.
But of course, Ashe, as per usual, this are very just way overloaded in terms of utility. Not the highest damaging AD carry in the game, but definitely the utility more than makes up for it, especially in coordinated play.
And even though she does lack the damage that you have from, like, a Misfortune or one of the super strong marksmen, like, if she does get that the Ranger's focus down, and with that rune end, she's also just going to do crazy damage. Even though she can't match some of the damage that a bullet time does provide, she is still a very high damage AD carry. Especially if she can get ahead using that level 6 power spike, landing the arrow, and taking down an AD carry who might not have cleanse up. Who might have decided against taking cleanse.
And I'm so very ready. Oh, Samira!
I like it! You know what?
I also like it.
I haven't seen any Samira in organized play since, you know, she wasn't available for Worlds, and I am here for it, you know?
I wish he was available for World. That would have made for a very interesting bot lane meta, especially when it went with Ashe being probably perm banned.
Definitely.
In most situations.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna see Titania. I'm gonna hope I'm pronouncing that right. Picking up Leona again, and Senna for Fishbait. So already the bot lane's gonna be locked in on the side of NFG Esports, which
that's like the way that you kind of want to get it done.
Definitely. I mean, you want to save counter pick. More often than not, you want to save it for those solo lanes. But I mean, this early, and also like picking this bot lane in general doesn't even like severely hinder you. I feel, because you aren't even by picking this Leona Senna, you aren't locked into a specific style of play as where something like an Ezreal Yumi might lock you in. So there's definitely a time to first pick bot lane, and this is definitely one of the bot lanes you can afford to do that. Karthus.
Thresh. The Shadow Isles is representing today, but
yeah.
Thresh, like I said, one of those jack of all trades, can make the picks, can make the saves, can tank, can do a lot of things. So it's just like you can't go wrong with Thresh unless you just miss some skill shots. But
he can do all the things, and he's pretty good at all of them. And Karthus is always fun to get around.
I don't know about fun, but it's like you can't go wrong with him either, because it's like no matter what happens, you scale to as long as you're not like running it, you scale to a point to where you can press R and do half the team's damage.
And especially if we see Shadow Jumper picking up something like a more AD heavy mid laner in like an Irelia or something, that's just, I mean, Irelia is always like Karthus' best friend, right? Any AD mid laners are always nice for Karthus, because when you're playing Karthus, you want to have you want to encourage the enemy team to build as little magic resist as possible, so you just shred them with it when you do cast to that Requiem. So right now, as little magic damage on this, Mortal Will needs as little magic damage to make this Karthus as strong as he can be. And Twisted Fate for Zarkana, always nice. Point and click CC is always fun to get around. We're seeing a lot of globals. The Senna and the Senna Ultimate, very fun. The Destiny Gate to get around.
Bandits rounding out with Nidalee, Ornn, Silas, and Vel'Koz. And like you said, Mortal will probably be orienting their team comp towards more AD heavy stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Zed actually from Shadow Jumper. Zed
would be a really interesting pick here, especially into someone like Twisted Fate, because I'm not entirely sure how that matchup goes, but I imagine that it gets pretty even. You know, once you do hit 6, that's a huge spike. Since although the Destiny Gate is a very big spike for the Twisted Fate, which Lissandra.
Lissandra's also a fun one. Can negate a gold card or two, depending on how it's played out.
You
but we
throw
do
down
see
the ultimate
coming out from NFG, so it's one of those things where you gotta play around it the right way, because they have plenty of AP damage now, and they're missing a top laner, from what I can gather.
You know, we might see Lily atop. That has been a thing that has happened.
And Mordekaiser. I haven't been a fan of Mordekaiser recently. Has definitely seen better days. But
yeah.
Into this team comp, I don't know if that was quite the thing to go with.
I mean, especially with something like a Karthus, because now Gangplank, even though Gangplank isn't really a tank who can just afford to go straight magic resist, he can pick up those early Merc Treads and reduce a lot of the power that these Karthus ganks might have. But
doesn't Gank also directly counter Mordekaiser because he can cleanse the ult?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, a cleanse on a basic ability is always very fun, and I feel like Mortal will be playing around bot side, because I mean, look at all of the magic damage that we're seeing on the side of Mortal Will. The Mordekaiser, the Lissandra, the Karthus. So if Ingenious does fall behind on the Samira, even though Samira does do a lot of damage, if she falls behind, she can't really do much of anything. She falls into the similar style of play of Draven, you know? If you aren't fed, if you aren't snowballing, you aren't going to do that much.
No. She's definitely one of the hardest feast or famine champions in the game, so hopefully she doesn't famine too hard, because I would like to see some really nice Samira plays this game.
Definitely. I mean, Samira is always a blast to watch. If you can get that style rank S, you can just rack up those triple kills.
Oh yeah. Especially in a 2v2 situation where Leona's Zenith Blade can actually be destroyed entirely. So it makes it a little difficult for Leona to engage on it, but it's going to come down to whether or not she opts into blocking the Zenith Blade, or whether she wants to block the Last Embrace from Senna.
And while I was talking about the globals on the side of we're talking about the globals, you know, we have the Gangplank ultimate, the Twisted Fate ultimate, the Senna ultimate, right? There's a lot of potential to just go all around the map here. You know, if you do start, let's say Mordekaiser tries to pick a fight with Gangplank, well, Twisted Fate's ulting over, you know, Senna's gonna shoot over the ult, give him the shield. So there's just so much global presence on the side of NFG Esports that I feel like they're basically going to be able to put so much pressure onto all of the players on the side of Mortal Will.
And it is worth noting that that Titania is bringing Exhaust for the Samira instead of the Ignite, meaning that it might be a little difficult, because relying on Thresh's damage to kind of finish things off is going to be a little how do you want to put that? I don't even know the kind of word I'm looking for there for it, but
a bit difficult, perhaps.
But anyway, it'll be difficult. It'll be difficult.
Definitely. And you know, I think it's gonna be important to see how this Karthus is able to farm up. If he is able to do if he is able to clear quickly and get that level 6 as soon as possible, because the Requiem such a very long cooldown that it's very important to. It's similar to Nocturne. You know, you want to be using that. You want to use that first ultimate as best as you can to basically further move you into getting a better ultimate, and then a better ultimate, and then a better ultimate. You know, so it'll be interesting to see how Savage is able to pilot this Karthus.
Mm-hmm. And able to push leads. I want to see some good macro play too, because last game we saw a lot of really good macro decisions. So let's see if Mortal Will can keep up with what NFG was putting down, just like NFG was, Iceborne was.
Mm-hmm. And otherwise, as we wait for these last 10 seconds, tell me, who do you think is going to win? Because I don't know, I'm leaning towards NFG because they had such a great showing last game. But what about you?
I have to give it to the ALS vets. I'm giving it to Mortal Will. What does everybody in chat think? That's the better question.
Exactly.
Because it's like I already know what Mortal Will, or I actually don't know what Mortal Will is capable of. I know what the individual players are capable of because I've played with them in and out, and I've known them for several seasons now. So it's like I kind of have an idea of what they can do, but now it's like seeing them play on different teams together is really what I have no clue. So
yeah, it'll definitely be
a new combination.
It'll definitely be a thing to look out for, to see how they're able to synergize, because in the history of just in general League, super teams don't go super well. So we'll have to see if this combination of some great players from a bunch of different teams will be able to synergize well or not.
And looking at the all of the sticker pages now in the loading screen, I don't see anything really out of the ordinary as far as the runes and masteries go. As the grasp on the Gangplank, we've got the Conquer Mordekaiser along with the Dark Harvest on both Lilia and Karthus.
Yeah, I mean, the Unsealed Spellbook on Zarkana is always great. You know, Twisted Fate is able to utilize that very well. You can just switch, you know, your teleport out for something like an Exhaust, Destiny Gate over the bot lane, pop that, and quick pause. But
yeah, but now that you've mentioned the Unsealed Spellbook, I think it's worth noting that that Zar did end up taking the teleport anyway, because generally speaking, you want to take a shorter cooldown summoner spell with Unsealed Spellbook. Definitely.
You want to get as much. You want to be able to get as much use out of it, and then switch it out for something else. However, maybe something like a heal would have been good here. Teleport is always a nice spell to have, especially when you're landing into someone else who decides to take teleport, because the value of teleport is essentially giving you a free reset, right? No need to worry about getting the wave shoved or such. Will always be valuable. And continue. Sorry.
No, I didn't have anything to say. I was just agreeing.
Oh yeah. So I think it'll be, like I said, it's going to be very important to watch for these big level 6. Level 6 is coming out. The first Destiny Gate from Zarkana, where he chooses to go. If he does choose to go bot lane, and if Freshburger throws down the Cannon Barrage as well, you know, this first Requiem is going to be important to see. So it'll just be I think it's just going to be who's going to be able to use these ultimates better, and if the globals are going to have as much presence as I think that they're going to have.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it's like because there's a lot of pressure, a lot of global pressure, like you said, on the side of NFG. So it's like you still have to be careful when you're Mortal Will, just trying to really get it together and really play around the global pressure that they have, because they do have a better team fight in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely. So anyway, yeah, the exhaust on Titania. Basically, I'm getting ready to stop Ingenious if he does pick up that style rank S. and just gets in there with the ultimate. So it'll be very... This is definitely going to be a fun one. You know, all of these games, the games that we're going to be casting, are always going to be pretty great. So we'll see if that Inferno trigger is going to have as much impact as I think it will.
Yeah, and with we're waiting on someone on Genius to restart the computer because it seems there was some technical difficulties on the back end, but it's okay. We've got plenty of time and space to really push around, and we want to get back to the game as much as you do. Like I'm so ready for it.
Yeah, I'm hyped to see how this game goes. To see if NFG puts up as good of a showing as they did last time, and if Mortal Will is gonna show us if this super team truly does work.
Because I'd go as far as to say that these were some stars from last season.
Definitely, they had a lot of. They all got pretty far in playoffs, I believe. So yeah, we'll definitely see if they play, if they're able to show up here, and yeah. Otherwise, taking a quick look at starting items as well, nothing out of the ordinary. So yeah, we're seeing just very very orthodox starts from both of these teams. You know, they do set up in that 5-point. One hand is bot side, but yeah. Otherwise, nothing super. It's nothing super interesting to point out here.
So, Jakuno, this is your first split streaming with us, right? With the ALS.
Indeed, yeah. I am not new to casting, but this is my first time with you guys.
Were you just a spectator of the ALS before? Because you seem to know a little bit about the previous seasons.
I was, yeah. You know, I'd tune in to a stream here and there. Nothing. I wasn't like religiously following, but I watched a lot of the games. Yeah.
I just wanted to know, like, if like, because you should be familiar with me at least, if that's the case.
Dude, I'm your biggest fan, actually. I'm actually standing you right now. Actually, I've faked this entire caster persona. My entire thing was just I just wanted to talk with you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, as we do see Ingenious reconnect with a pause, will likely end soon. Or I might have jinxed it and we'll be here for an eternity.
Because I'm pretty sure the rule is 10 minutes, I think?
I think so. Okay, we're back. We're back. Okay. Good thing we don't have to bring back that rule. Alright. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll see one hand head topside. We'll just put down the ward. Just get some vision, make sure, watch if Karthus does try to head up there, steal away some camps. And likely it'll be a blue side start from one hand, while we'll see Savage heading bot side to pick up his red buff, and I imagine Path topside.
Which would make sense for me. I personally would Path blue. Because I don't think that there's a lot of kill pressure or a lot of things that a Karthus can do up here in the top half of the map. Because like in the 2v1 Mordekaiser and Karthus versus Lilia and Gangplank, I don't think that goes out too well. So it probably would make more sense to see Karthus path down to the bot side. Definitely.
And I mean, this is just probably not gonna be a very fun time for Kitsune. Oh, we're seeing some fighting.
Yeah, another lay waste, another lay waste.
And I think
and one hand is in a very awkward position here. Flashing knife blown, and first blood going directly over to Savage, fighting off a little bit more than they can do just to harass the Savage here. Because if you notice the way that they started, NFG started off by taking the Raptors away. So they took the Raptors away, and then instead of leaving, they immediately went to go try to it was just one hand by
Definitely,
himself decided to go ahead and try to path into the red buff there.
Yeah, I mean, Lilia is very strong in these early levels at just taking away these raptors camps. She's so great at this. But the thing is that I think, yeah, one hand just overcommits very hard here, underestimates just how much they're willing to commit to get this kill, and is just taken out. And here we're seeing Freshburger just get those grasp procs, use those Qs, just pop through the very fun gangplank trading pattern, pop through all of your potions, all of your biscuits, and just get as much damage with those Qs, as many grasp procs as you can.
Zarkana's up here in this top lane, able to get something down, almost able to take down Freshburger if he was able to pull him into tower range, but ultimately forcing Kitsune out of lane. Savage and Shadow Jumper are here in the top side, but that is a 2v3 no matter how you look at the HP bars.
Definitely. But I think everybody will just back away. Shadow Jumper does get some extra time in the lane, does pick up a bit of extra XP, but since Arcana set up the wave well enough for the roam, he actually does end up actually not that far behind in CS.
No, not at all. And not even blowing the teleport either.
Yeah, I mean, he just sets him up very well. Just walks up, uses that pick a card, and just walks over menacingly, and just throws down the gold card.
Because the gold card in and of itself, just having it picked, it applies so much pressure.
I mean, yeah, even in just lane, right? Because there's like the threat of the point and click CC, right? As a lot of trading going down in the top lane. But it's like the threat of, hey, I can just walk up, right click you, and you're going to be stunned for a pretty long time. And that's why Twisted Fate has so much priority. You have to give him so much respect because of that stun.
And now we have the classic Leona Thresh matchup down here. Like, Leona unable to hit any clean engages, and as I'm saying that, gets one off. Forcing the exhaust out, hook landing onto Leona, Ignite's going down, auto attacks over and over again, able to get the auto into the Q, into the piercing darkness to pick up Troll the Noob there.
Yeah, I mean, Fishbait plays that very well. Oh.
And I think what ended up happening there was just a little bit of miscommunication there. I don't know if they wanted to like hard engage that, because Genius did not seem to play that as aggressively as it seemed he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, and even though there's no like item breakpoints or anything, there's just the Samira can't really do a ton before level 6, and but anyway, yeah, the kill onto Troll the Noob does happen, and that does give a bit of an advantage over here to NFG's bot lane. And otherwise, we're seeing a pretty bloody early game, honestly. Already 3 kills. A lot happening in Mortal Will's red side jungle. There's quite a bit of shenanigans going down in that side of the map.
The teleport being blown from Freshburger to get back up into this lane. Ultimates are available for the top laners and the mid laners. Well, for Shadow Jumper anyway. Soon to be Zarkana.
Yeah, and look at the summoner spell that Zarkana's just picked up. He's gotten that ghost. Even though he doesn't have the flash gold card available, which is such a strong tool, he does have the ghost, which while it lacks the immediate power of something like the flash gold card, of just immediately running up, right clicking, you get the power of the ghost, which lets you, even though it doesn't give you the immediate disadvantage, you will catch up to them. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be very important to watch this Destiny gate, see where he's going to choose to use it. I think that it's probably going to be used towards bot side, even though Katsumi does have the Death Realm, so he will be able to at least buy some time in the gank, and perhaps even kill Freshburger if he does catch him.
And a fight happening out here, the Glacial Prison, the Frozen Tomb being thrown out, but Troll the Noob and Shadow Jumper not quite having the CC to really put down the damage on Zarkana, able to escape with the gate. But that is actually a complete testament to the first item Merc Treads.
Oh, most definitely.
To get away from that.
Yeah, that's such a great pickup, I feel. Oh,
Another fight breaking out. The Lunar Eclipse landing down here. As well as the Zenith's Blade, and Freshburger will pick up Troll the Noob there with the ultimate. Another ultimate, the Glacier, that Creeping Claw going up. Gold card coming out, and as a fight is just going not in the way that they want at all. Titania will go down here, but Genius is like, I want more of this, despite not having level 6.
I mean, yeah, this is just such a... That's what I was talking about when I meant the globals, you know. Fishbait isn't there, neither is Freshburger, but they do make their presence known, throwing down those ultimates, giving the shield, giving the extra damage from the cannon barrage, and the Sen ultimate. So yeah, all around a very good play on the side of NFG Esports. You know, a great roam from Troll the Noob though. Troll the Noob, he does manage to get the ghost out from Zarkana. But Zarkana, yeah, the first item Merc Treads, like you're talking about, so valuable here, especially into this matchup where the Frost Tomb, I believe that's what it's called, will be able to do some... Yes, the Frozen Tomb, sorry. We'll be able to do so much with that point-and-click CC. But yeah,
I am in no position to speak, seeing as how I butchered like half the ability names in that last fight.
I mean, at least you know them, right?
True. The Glacial Path is for the Frozen Claw. Yep, that was close.
Better than just the Senna ultimate. But anyway,
the Senna ultimate.
The Senna R. Senna presses her R button. The Dawning, yes.
Don't worry, the E was pressed, everybody.
Yes. But anyway, the Destiny is coming off of cooldown pretty soon, so it'll be valuable. We're going to be seeing how Zarkana will be using that one, as he was forced to blow it defensively last time.
Using the Destiny as an escape tool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you don't see it often, but you do feel great when you're Twisted Fate and you just manage to just get away. But yeah, first item Merc Treads are always just so valuable. We see so many Twisted Fates picking it up because you have so much like power early game. You know, the wild cards always.
So we're sitting here, a fight happening up here in the top lane. The Death Realm is used, and Freshburger will be going down to Savage. So that is a first to hopefully many for Mortal Will, looking to put more agency onto this Savage's Karthus, who has now 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean,
as a 4-man bot happens down in the bot lane, everything is just being blown here. The Solar Eclipse, even the little Team Lullaby, not even used in this fight.
That's awful. But that feels awful if you're ingenious there. He goes forward for the kill, but Titania does pop that stopwatch from the runes and just manages to just barely survive that.
Yeah, stopwatch is one of those like underused items that a lot of people don't account for.
It's definitely such a strong item that so many people like forget, even though it does come a lot pretty late. You know, it's such a powerful rune that invulnerability is always nice. You know, and you know, we do see Zarkana, I believe, took that in his runes as well, so we'll be seeing some stopwatches from him as well. And this game is already looking like a fun one, you know. We're seeing about a 1.5k-ish gold lead on the side of NFG Esports from these 2 kills and a pretty sizable CS lead that we're seeing in bot lane. It's certainly big.
Another fight breaking out here. The Dawning Shadow brought out. Zarkana being able to pick up. Troll the Noob, another gold card onto Shadow Jumper, forcing out the Frozen Tomb. But it will not be enough to get away from that as even more CC goes down to take down Shadow Jumper. Way too much CC coming from Titania and Zarkana together.
Yeah, I mean, Zarkana gets the gold card down. Immediately Titania puts down that Solar Flare, and yeah, Troll the Noob just does not get to move.
Like, it's a nasty combination if Zarkana is able to land the gold card first, because then after the rotation of spells coming from Titania's Leona, another gold card is ready to go out.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, look at the amount of I forgot to mention this draft, but look at the amount of CC on the side of NFG Esports. Like, you know, Twisted Fate gets that gold card immediately. The Zenith Blade, the Solar Flare, all that stuff. Then you can get that. You can get the Lilting Lullaby, all that jazz. And you know, you're just not gonna get to move.
Teleport coming down to this bot lane. Both teleports being, or two teleports being coming down to this bot lane. The Inferno Trigger was used, but Zarkana found himself in quite the situation. Genius almost goes down. Genius does go down with the teleport coming in from Freshburger, and they will. And another one, Freshburger. Just the party's coming down left and right. Freshburger, will he escape that though? Is the question from Mordekaiser. Kitsune is in a perfect spot to do a lot in the Death Realm. Picks up Zarkana with.
Look at all the health bars though, and the Requiem is available now, so that's likely gonna be a couple kills.
No mana to use it.
That's true. That's true. And also, look at the plays. He will just get away, throw down the Wall of Pain, but unfortunately won't be able to use that global to get any kills. So already, great plays on the side of NFG Esports. Alright, they're up 6 kills, almost a 4K gold lead from these plays in bot lane, and I'm very amazed at how long Zarkana lasted there. You know, he teleports behind all of them. You know, the healing from the Senna is just so valuable there. And yeah, I mean, good plays all around. But NFG Esports does manage to get ahead in that one.
Yeah, and it's not only that; it's just the fact that Zarkana also had a stopwatch there, which is why he was able to survive for so long.
Definitely. You know, we were just talking about how strong that rune is, and now we're seeing it twice already used.
Yep. And level 11s are coming out soon for both top laners and for the mid laners.
Oh.
As another fight starts breaking out, 3 people here in the mid lane will be taking out Zarkana there. Yep, with the Ignite.
Yeah,
So
the Ignite ticks away, and that's a kill picked up by Trollman. So yeah, those are the kinds of plays that Mortal needs to be looking for. You know, you're probably not going to win a team fight right now, even though there are some item breakpoints coming through. You know, the Trinity Force picked up on the Gangplank.
Another fight coming out. Lilting Lullaby lands onto Genius, who is taken down almost instantly, as well as Shoulder Noob. Shadow Jumper able to Dark Passage away and drop the box. But it doesn't seem to matter, as staying a little bit too close there will be costing Shoulder Noob his life as well.
Fishbait with a clutch heal, keeping his jungler alive. But not for very long. As the Requiem comes down and gets that shutdown on one hand.
Not quite as strong as we would like it to see yet, but it's still early into the game, only 15 minutes as they knock down the first tower in the mid.
Just barely has the pen boots there, so will not only has the runic echoes and the pen boots, so won't be doing as much damage as you'd like to see. But later into the game, it'll start destroying some health bars.
And top lane, another fight broke out, which is ending up in the deaths of both Savage and Kitsune in a 2v3 or 2v2 situation. Seeing as how Titania wasn't quite there yet, Zarkana, Freshburger able to just fend them off pretty much for free without ultimates.
Yeah, I mean, even though Karth is such a strong champion, he can't really match up in these like skirmishes on like Mordekaiser. He's strong, Karthus. They're both good champions in these like scenarios, but like for example, like you're seeing the Trinity Force, the Rod of Ages, those are pretty big spikes for Zarkana and Freshburger, so they're just able to win that fight. Freshburger does pick up that double kill, and he's going to start working towards that Essence Reaver next.
We don't know what he's building, but hopefully it's an Essence Reaver, because then we'd be right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if I remember correctly, that's usually what you pick up after you get that Sheen item. You'll head over. You like Gangplanks. Do like those crits for those barrels. Ooh, that hook was very close to landing, and that would have been a pretty easy pick otherwise, with the CC extension that they do have with the flay and such. And anyway, as we're just seeing, the Baron is not up yet.
Another fight coming down out here out in the jungle. Solar Flare to start things off. Lilia goes in, hits the little lullaby. The last embrace, locking down champions left to right. Titania missing the next Zenith Blade, but flashing in and not getting another kill there. But once again, Mortal Will limping away with their lives. It's a very strong Senna they've got going on there as well.
Definitely, she's doing so much damage.
Having finished the Manamune as well as having their first serrated Derrick and just backing after the dragon on an entire Edge of Night, going to make it very difficult to really get onto Fishbait and lock him down. Alongside more Merc Treads. But things seem to be going back to normal. Pathing is back again. The Rift Herald dropping the top lane will drop the top tier 1 tower. Kitsune able to land a Death's Grasp, but not able to capitalize on it really. Another fight down here where Trolldanube seems to be getting caught out here. Destiny used from Twisted Fate able to come in and just lock down Trolldanube.
Yeah, I mean, picks up. Destiny gets in there, gets the gold card. The Aftershock does help him be a bit tanky, but he won't be able to get away from this one. As yeah, the BF Sword and the Coalfields Warhammer do indicate that we'll be seeing the Essence Reaver second from this gangplank. Something very common, and another fight. I mean, this is just such a bloody game we've got going on here. Like, I mean, Mortal Will's jungle just does not belong to them anymore. They just, I mean, they've got very little. Like, the vision that they do have is in the blue side jungle of NFG Esports. But the thing is, they're never going to be that far ahead, and a few more quick kills. Yeah, they'll never be able to use that vision very effectively. So they're basically, whenever they walk into their jungle, basically hoping that they're hoping that there's nobody in the bush. There's no Leona in the bush to stun them. They're just hoping that they can. Yeah, they're just hoping they can manage to survive face checking these bushes, which is definitely not gonna be fun.
Not at all. But with the 12k goal, 14k goal difference, excuse me, it's very difficult to really team fight like that, especially when you start looking at the CS differences in pretty much every role. Is a 40 CS difference in jungle, 20 CS difference in top lane, 30 CS difference in mid, and a 60, almost 60 CS difference in the bot lane. And like, I think between the 80 carries, it's
yeah, that one's huge. I mean, yeah, Ingenious just got put so far behind. I mean, he was at 40. I think he was at 40 at like 10 minutes, which is just. Well, no, I don't remember. He was at 40 for a very long time. But anyway, yeah. And this is where we're gonna see NFG Esports comp. Oh yeah, sorry.
Death Realm is taken. Senna's taken into the Death Realm, and it doesn't do anything. The little lullaby able to put 3 people to sleep. Doesn't even matter, and Mortal Will is just getting wiped in this fight. Let's see if the Requiem is able to pick anybody off. Nope, not nearly enough damage to kill anyone there. And
that's the clean ace. This Requiem won't even pick up a kill. But yeah, that's. Comes out. But yeah, this is. I mean, this is one of the things that's so good about NFG Esports comp, right? They were so far ahead at that point that there was no real way for Mortal Will to team fight, so they were forced to look for picks. But the thing is, when there are that many globals on the side of NFG Esports, they're just gonna get very. You're gonna try to look for a pick, but bam, There's a Sen ult coming down, a Cannon Barrage coming down, the Destiny Gate comes down, and you just don't. You just cannot look for any picks.
No, it was very difficult to make that to make picks there.
Yeah, all around a very clean game from NFG Esports. They make a statement here showing that, hey, last game, it was probably a fluke. You know, we only lost that because of some bad luck. And, I mean, yeah, they're looking very dominant. Even though they did end up losing that last game, they did perform very well. They were keeping it very close until that last fight, until that loss at Baron, and then here they just look dominant. So I think it's important to keep an eye out on NFG Esports, on our newcomers, to see how they're doing. If they'll be able to show up even harder in these next few games.
But on that note, we do have. I mean, that's about it as much as we got for now. As NFG just taking over and commanding performance in the second game, saying that they did not want another showing like they did in their debut game, just an hour prior. So, with that, we will see how Mortal Will decides that they want to attack the ones that took out NFG in the first match of today.
Yeah, and this will be our last game of the day. It'll be Iceborne Winners Q facing down Mortal Will.
And we'll see you in the next one.